Kia ora, good morning. I just got a message from an old friend of mine. I've been doing readings for her, like I've known this girl since the end of 2018, I think. She asked me to do a reading. I haven't told her yet that I don't do readings anymore. But then I thought, while I was getting my coffee ready, why don't I see if I can do a card reading for her? And then I'll just send her the link. I can't promise I'm going to get anything. It's been a while since I've done a card reading, as you know, but I thought it might be a good opportunity to scrape some of the rust off and see how I do. So I've got my cards here. I've just made my coffee, so remember, if I go quiet, you know I'm having a sip. So I'm going to shuffle the cards and lay the spread out and see if I see anything, and then if it turns out being any good, I'll send her the link. So just give me a sec. It'll give me the perfect opportunity to use my spray, which is better than using crystals, it's better than using Palo Santo, it's better than using sound bowls, two of which cause harm, one of which only works if you're reading for the person in the room. But my ingredients literally turns back into atoms. And sticks to the ion particles. And my sound will take it. My frequency will take it. Right, so I'm just going to lay this spread out. I know you can't see. Left hand split into three piles. Oh, what have I done? I've activated something. From the right to the left. So I'm just going to... 1, 2... I've been reading for her for a long time. But then I stopped doing readings because I had no way to take payments, and my ex wouldn't help me. And then all hell broke loose. We were just talking about that the other day. She doesn't know I'm doing this. I know she won't mind because she loves everything I do. Like, you know, she's a big supporter of mine. She believes in what I do. But I used to give her ascension therapy readings. She's never ever had a card reading before. I can't remember the last time I did a card reading for someone. Like, obviously before I was showing you how to do the training deck. I've only been awake about half an hour. She won't be used to me doing this, but I know the lighting's bad. So I had a dream I was doing place settings for dinner. So when I was making my coffee, trying to understand this stupid dream I had that involved Elon Musk and his brother called Diego, which he doesn't have. I woke up trying to figure out the dream. I thought, oh, when I saw my pal's message asking if I would be up for doing a reading, I thought, place settings. Right, so You've seen this spread. You're just going to have to take my word for it. I mean, I will be able to show you if the cards are in reverse, but it's very early in the morning here, and this reading isn't for the general public. It's for one person, and I know she'll trust me if the cards are in reverse or not, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the phone down and read the cards. I just can't be asked setting up that little tripod and that. So I'll put the phone down. I was just about to say your name, and I'll take it from there, girl, okay? I'm just making it live because I thought it would be interesting. Be an interesting way to do it. That way when you wake up on your side of the world, you'll have the little link there waiting for you. Assuming this goes all terribly wrong, in which case they'll delete everything. So I'm going to put it on camera mode and put the phone down and start reading. Okay, girl? Right, give me a sec. Right. Hang on. Oh, God. Oh, what did I do that for? Hang on. I got to blow my nose. Just give me a sec. I don't even know if you know. Oh, I'm going to talk like I'm talking to her, by the way. I don't even know if you know that this is how I used to do readings back in the day. I don't know if when I first met you, if it was readings I used to do back in the day. Oh, what am I doing? Right, so I've sprayed, I've got my candle on, have a sip of my coffee. And I already know what your questions, and I already know why you want a reading. And it is in here. But I need to start with what I'm seeing. And what I'll do is I'll send you the reading, but I'll need you to answer the questions for me, and then privately we can discuss it. Just give me a minute, girl. Because when I lay out the cards, they turn into little movies in my head. It's like flipping through a moving picture book. Okay. So I'm pretty sure the first part of the reading, the first line, and half of the second line. This line up to here is about, so this line up to here, and all of these cards are in the upright. Every single one of them, other than the Jack, is in the upright until we get to the King of Spades. And what that tells me is that you met someone who, on the surface level, seemed childlike. He seemed like he was almost like your mirror. He seemed youthful, he seemed innocent, he seemed genuine. He seemed like he told you everything you wanted to hear. He promised everything he knew you wanted in life, like, you know, the marriage and the kids and the white picket fence, that sort of thing. When he came into it, he came into this naive and mirroring. When, well, I mean, you'll know because you're a psychology major, but you know, when people are attracted to someone, whether like platonically or not, they mimic them. They mimic their actions, they mimic their movements, and they don't even realize they do it. But on the flip reverse of that, narcissists also do the same thing. They, and psychopaths as well. They, I know I'm not saying he's a narcissist, or, well, they do the same thing in order to trick the victim into thinking that they get them. I understand you because we're exactly the same. Now, I'm not saying that's him, but what it is saying is that he came into this, I think, maybe not with the intention of wanting to settle down and have kids and that sort of thing so fast, but knowing that's what you wanted, and he went along with it anyway. Like maybe he came into this thinking that, you know, he didn't really want anything long term, or he didn't see you as being someone he wanted to be with long term, but he went along with it anyway, almost like it's because he thought that's what people wanted of him or expected of him, or because he didn't want to let you down, but he genuinely cared. He genuinely cared about you, but it's almost like he didn't have long-term plans when he met you. But then we get the King of Spades in reverse, which means you started seeing his true colours. You started seeing something in him, and we've got the Eight of Clubs and the Ten of Clubs in reverse as well, which means you started seeing something in him that gave you red flags. See, other than the Jack, all these cards are in the upright until we get to the King, and then these three cards here are in the reverse. So you started seeing something, like the intuitive little Miss Scorpio that you are, and it gave you red flags. And I don't know, this is like, you're going to have to answer all of this for me when you wake up, because I know you're probably, because you're what, 8, 9 hours behind me, so. Did someone say something to you? Like, did your ex say or do something where somebody else said to you, like they confirmed what you were thinking, like, God, that's not right, or why did he do that for? Or that's a strange thing to say. That's a strange thing to do. And it's almost like typical Scorpio, instantly you knew your intuition was right. If you were bringing things up to him in arguments and stuff like that, was he gaslighting you? No, that's not true. You know, would he say things? Because I kind of feel like there's a little bit of narcissism there, girl. Like, because you know, you're a Scorpio. We express our feelings to the men we're in relationships with. We tell them everything. We tell them everything we feel when they're hurting us, in the hopes that they'll fix their behavior, because we're not the ones to walk away. It's really, really hard for a Scorpio to walk away from a relationship. And what this is saying is that there were red flags there that you were ignoring because you kept thinking he's just immature. I can fix them. Typical thing when you're an empathic victim of an arc. I can fix them. Things will change with time. Once he gets to know me, like, you kept making excuses for his behaviour because you didn't want this relationship to fail. You wanted it to work. You wanted what you thought he was offering you, but it's almost like it was staged. Like he he got himself in too deep, and then there's like resentment there. And I feel like he took this resentment, whatever was going on with him, out on you. And you kept ignoring it because you kept saying, oh, he's just having a bad day at work. Oh, he just, because things happened with his job or with his friend or with his whatever. Like, you kept making excuses for it, which is the 8 and 9 in reverse, 8 and 10 in reverse. But it's like, did someone say something to you, girl? And they were like, why is he acting like that? Or he suddenly changed, or someone's, and it could have been a male, but not necessarily. See here, he's looking right at him in reverse. See, this is him here, and this is him in the reverse. Even though the card's not, why is the card in reverse? Oh, the card is in reverse. And this one here is looking at him. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be a man. If it turns out that this King of Clubs is a woman, it means that she is, she stepped into, when a woman in a reading, a biological woman in a reading becomes a man in a reading, it means that she stepped into her twin. She stepped into her masculine side. It could even be you, but I feel like, because of the surrounding cards, somebody said something to you that confirmed what you were thinking, or confirmed what you didn't want to see. They held the mirror up to you or something. Could even be me. They made you see something you didn't want to see, because spades are, in tarot, the King of Coins or King of Pentacles, Earth. So it's someone. So it could be you stepping into your masculine side to stand up for yourself, because you're a Scorpio, so your twin is Taurus, and you're a Scorpio woman. So when you step into your masculine, you'd be stepping into your Taurus king. If you were a man, you'd be stepping into your and this was a queen, you'd be stepping into your feminine side, your nurturing, understanding, caring, patient, analytical side. Because when men are the thinkers, women are the feelers, but when a man steps into his feminine side, he takes more notice of what it is he's feeling. He slows everything down to analyse his emotional side, whereas like a masculine wouldn't usually do that. They'll just think what they think and think they're right because they rule the mind. But you're a woman, so either you stepped into your masculine side and started defending yourself. Did you use your psychology degree, your training in psychology, to analyse him or something and he didn't like it? I know what this is. This is gaslight. This is... The thing is, it's not as dramatic as domestic abuse or anything like that, but there is a bit of that playing the mind games with you, trying to make you feel like your emotions were wrong, like your intuition was wrong. And the thing is, because you're a Scorpio, you can't tell Scorpios that their intuition is wrong, because even though Pisces are the ones that rule the psychic and Cancer are the ones that rule empathy, like we rule karma and our intuition runs the deepest. We're the deepest feeling of all the signs. We're the deepest feeling of certainly all the water signs. We're not afraid to go there. And it's almost like if this isn't somebody else who made you look at this situation from a different perspective, you saw something when you had to defend yourself. You flipped into your masculine Taurus side and it made you see things from a grounded perspective. Ah, oh, I know what this is because I learnt this in psychology class. Because I remember you saying that you would, was it, that's what your degree is in psychology? Or I know one time we were talking and you were talking about psychology. I haven't forgotten anything that we spoke about. But I'm pretty sure that's what your degree is in, right? While you're at university is for a college degree in psychology. But I don't know if your major's changed since then. But if this isn't you, it's somebody who's looking right at him going, I see right through you. I've ticked your clock and I know what you were doing. And then they've said something to you and you're like, it's almost like then you knew exactly what you had to do. And there's almost like this feeling of, I want to say saved by the bell. They saved you from years of heartache. They saved you from years of pain. They saved you from wasting your life on somebody who in the beginning never even had any intention of taking this a long way with you. I think they thought you were going to be just a bit of fun. Everybody does that with a Scorpio, eh? They learn the hard way with me. I've had options, but they never behaved correctly, so they weren't options for long. And I know you know what I'm talking about like that because I'm not I'm not uh I'm not a whore and I don't sleep around. I'm just waiting to give myself to one person and that's the man I'm going to marry, but until that happens I'm not going to be throwing myself at anyone, and I know that's what you're like. I know from conversations we've had in the past, you're not the sort of person that likes to change bedfellows every night. I did all that stuff when I was a teenager. So then, I don't know if you're about to have an interaction with him, like final goodbyes. I know you only just broke up last week, was it? Lived together for a couple of years. Is he gonna? Is he coming back to get some stuff, or because I feel like you've got one more interaction with him, where maybe you're going to see things with him, and in him, his behaviour, he's going to do something, say something, where now that you're armed with this information, or now that you know that your hunch is confirmed, or now that you see things a lot clearer, this last interaction with him is going to like blow your eyes wide open to the point where you're going to see, oh, that's who you really are, or you can't fool me anymore, or you have no power over me anymore. Like if he says anything to try and dig at you, because when it comes to Scorpios, when it comes to water signs, our partners will always know what to say to get that dig in, because we're water. So the slightest touch on water has a massive ripple effect, meaning the slightest thing can scar us emotionally or cause us upheaval, cause us emotional distress. They'll know exactly what to say to trigger a reaction, because water, one little drop and plop, 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 the ripples. So you need to turn to ice so that anything that he says can't affect you anymore, bounces straight back off you. If you've ever seen anyone try to dive into a lake of ice or a frozen swimming pool, so you need to cut off your emotions, and I think that's what you're going to do, because you're going to see his true colours. I don't know if I'm that king of clubs because I've known you for so long and I'm protective of you, so I can see things from a different perspective, and I'm a Scorpio too, so my masculine is also Taurus, is also the Pentacles, the coins, Earth. But if it's not, it's either a female friend of yours who stepped into her protective role with you, or it was a male friend who was like, nah, guys aren't supposed to act like that. Like that's not. And then they made you see, oh, holy crap, that's what that was. It's almost like you were blinded by love, blinded by loyalty, and then either something was brought up to you or you were made to realise that this situation you were in with him wasn't what you thought it was. And almost like, I'm so glad it ended now before I wasted any more time. I was just I was just singing this the other day. Maybe that's why I had it in my head. I even recorded me singing it. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. That's the song I had in my head the other day. And this is literally what the cards are saying. It's like once you see it, you can't unsee it, and then you can see clearly. It's almost like your eyes wipe your mind clean, and you're like, holy crap, how did I not see that? I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all the obstacles in my way, and he was the obstacle. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. Oh, that's why I was singing the song. Girl, I knew you were going to ask me for a reading. The answer was already there in that song. So it's almost like by you seeing clearly, by you seeing the truth, realizing I may have just dodged a domestic abuse future, and then you're happy to pack your bags and go. Like you're happy to leave it. There's no more grief. There's no more questioning why did it happen. It's because now I don't know if we've ever discussed this or not. I don't know if you believe in God, but it's almost like God said, how do I put this? Look, I'm going to show you. So there we have the person opening your eyes, right? And then you saying, oh, I dodged a bullet. I'm out. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. These are in reverse. Taking a more grounded approach. Because I know you're hearts in real life. So these are in reverse. I don't know if you can see that, but you're going to have to trust me that they're in reverse, right? So it's like, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I've been saved from potential domestic abuse, a life of domestic abuse. I'm out. Like I'm happy to leave it. Finding, because, the Queen of Clubs, looking at it from a grounded perspective of looking at all the signs, looking at all the triggers, looking at all the evidence, in 10, 15, 20, 30 years' time, if we had have still been together, I would have ended up, he would have drained the life out of me, because he was someone who was constantly telling you that your feelings about him and the relationship were wrong, and he was trying to deny you your right to express your emotions and how you were seeing the relationship. And that is the trigger for narcissistic abuse. And you're a psychologist, you'll know this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. God, maybe I am the king of clubs. You'll know what I'm talking about. You're going to see it, you're going to understand it, because I'm pulling you out of your emotional state of your grief and that, and saying, babes, Miss King, look at it from a grounded perspective. You were on the fast track to being in a domestic abuse situation, and then had you have had kids, they would have been victims. They would have been victims of it as well, either by him taking it out on the children, and then witnessing their mother being abused, or they'd become narcissists themselves. Because, as you know, you're only born a psychopath, but you are made a sociopath and a narcissist. You get your narcissism through being taught. So you could have gone on to have narcissistic children, or they'd be traumatized as a result of parental narcissistic abuse. My ex is a narc, as you know, so yeah. So then you look at it from a grounded perspective, and you're like, okay, right, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. But it's like God was saying, remember I said to you, you would have one last relationship before you met the one. But this one last relationship was to prepare you and teach you for everything you needed to know going into the next relationship. Remember I said? So this is you looking at it from a grounded perspective. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. And this is God saying, because remember I said to you, you'll have one last relationship before you meet the one. And this one last relationship will be to teach you everything you need to know to prepare you for the next one, because the next one is going to be your forever love. But your next love, remember I have always said, he's a very intelligent, grounded. He comes from a family where, his parents have been married forever. He had a nurturing mum and a protective dad. He was raised right. Even now while I'm looking, I can still see what I said he was going to look like, the lumberjack, remember? He looks like a lumberjack. He's very manly. He's very grounded and manly and earthy, and he has some kind of role. I know we've discussed this before. Whatever it is he does for a job involves the legal system or the law or science to do with the law, like forensics or something like that. Remember, I've always talked about it, because you two are going to see eye to eye on things like criminal law, criminal behaviour, because of your psychology degree, because, of what you're doing. It's like his job is going to feed your mind, that guy. But he's not the sort of guy who would want to deal with a woman who's still traumatized by the abuse of the past. So God made you have this one last relationship to arm you with everything you would need to know in order to heal yourself, to recognize your patterns, to recognize the mistakes you made, trust too easy, jumped in with someone where you knew you probably shouldn't have done it, that sort of thing, having to take a grounded, honest look and approach to how you see love so that it could mature you. Now, I know you're blonde, I know, but I would class you as a Queen of Hearts. I would class you as this down here. But because of how, I mean, I can't tell the readings what they need to tell you, but this is saying, you know, like diamonds is fire. It's a Queen of Diamonds is generally someone who has white hair, like really like peroxide blonde hair, or someone who's wiser. And I think in your situation, this is someone who's wiser. This is yeah, the Queen of Fire. So taking action, being decisive, being like, right, now I know I'm going to burn it all down. I'm just going to let all this go. I'm going to just brush it up to experience, like using wisdom, because it's matured you. And that's why you had to have this relationship. God needed it to mature you, mature your mind, and mature the way that you see yourself and what you will and won't handle, which is all fire. And then going, right, now that I know that, I'm going to start from the beginning, from a Jack perspective, from a young perspective. I'm going to burn it all down, which is absolute, because we're in the year of the Phoenix Rising. Going to burn it all down and start again. I'm letting it all go. I'm letting the past, I'm letting everything I thought I knew about love and relationships go, because I want to prepare myself for new love. And then you're going to find him when you're not looking. Remember I said I had always seen you like you were out in public, like walking your dog, or like you were going to bump into each other, or you were just going to meet him out and about purely by accident. You're going to find him when you're not looking. And it's not that you're going to find him when you give up looking. It's you're going to find him when you realise that he's going to come in good time. God needed you to look. God needed you to have this one last experience. Or if you don't believe in God, your ancestors or the universe or spirit need you to have this one last relationship to make you see the patterns. Because all your men, and you know, because I've seen the photos, girl, all your men look exactly the same. You have a type, and we've talked about this type that you know you have. But the man that you end up with isn't like any of them. He's not Hootie and the Blowfish kind of soft, not the men that I know that you've had relationships with in the past and all the years I've known you, compared to the one that I know you're going to end up with, they're like chalk and cheese. This man, you know, I always refer to him as the lumberjack because he's very masculine. Like, think Justin Bieber versus someone who works for ICE. or a fireman. Justin Bieber versus a fireman. Justin Bieber or John Legend versus someone who works for Border Patrol, or you know, someone who works for the FBI or something. Like, it's that difference. I've worked with people in the FBI. I've worked with people in the CIA. I've worked with people in the NYPD. I've worked with people in the American Air Force and Marines and Army. And I grew up with Army. And the guy you end up with is that. Not a Bieber, not a Legend, not a John Mayer kind. He's like, he can chop a tree, he can change a wheel, he can light a fire, He can put up shelves. He's proper manly. And you've been going for the man child. Not that there's anything wrong with a man child, but a man child is generally someone who, it's not that they don't want to, it's not that they don't take things seriously where there needs to be things taken seriously. They brush everything off with a light-hearted approach to things that, like they could have blood pouring out of their leg. Oh no, it's fine. They'll take the sympathy and they'll take the nurturing and the nursing, but they'll try and brush off the pain like it's nothing, because they need to. I'm a man, and men don't feel pain, and men don't look at things the way women do. Man child, brush it off. This is the sort of guy, if you sit down and you say to him, look, I'm really hurt by what you said, he'd say, how did I hurt you? And you'll explain it and he'll go, okay, well, I'll explain it to you now. What I meant was blah, 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 but it probably came out wrong. It came out wrong. This is what I meant, because you frustrated me. Like he'll sit down and he'll explain it to you, because he's very grounded, and he's the sort of guy who, like me, doesn't do drama, doesn't like drama. He's I've explained his background before. His mother, I think, was a bit of a hippie, was a bit of like an earth child. She's like a mother of earth kind of woman, and he grew up in a household where his parents supported him and were proud of him, and were proud when he went off to college, and they were proud when he graduated, and proud when he got his job, and they support him. He's got parents who both equally support him. I keep seeing his 2 cars. Remember I said he has 2 cars, 2 trucks or something? One's an old beat up one, and one I think is one he takes to work. The old beat up one I think is the one that he takes off into the country. This is a boy who grew up, if he lives in the city, his family would holiday. They might have a house by the lake, but his family would holiday in the woods, which is why I keep calling him the lumberjack, because this is a man who's comfortable around nature. He goes there a lot, I think, because remember I've talked about his job before. I can pack these cards up now because I'm seeing everything from a quantum magnetics point of view. Remember we talked before about his job and it having something to do with the law or crime or forensics or something like that. It's a very serious job that he does, involving human life and the fragilities of human life. And when he's been working on something that has been very intense, like me, I think that if I was ever to meet him and I would have incredible conversations, because the cases that I've worked on, on behalf of the victims, whether they were dead or the ones left behind still grieving and needing answers, he'd be able to understand it. We'd be able to understand each other, which is why I had a lot of people that worked in the FBI and CIA and that come to me for readings, because they knew I wouldn't judge them, because I'd understand what they were going through. And sometimes we work on cases, we have to deal with things, how I was saying about the whole Epstein thing, that are so traumatic to witness and be involved in, that sometimes the only way you can deal with it is to just sit quietly and go to a quiet place. I think for him that's nature, which you're going to love. He might not be the sort that climbs rocks and things like that, climbs walls and rocks and all that sort of thing, but he's the sort that's going to, like, maybe fish I keep thinking, girl, I don't know if I've mentioned this to you before. I wonder if he does things with wood. You know, I've always called him the lumberjack because of how he looks, and he's a very big, big strapping masculine man. But I'm wondering if he works with wood. I'm wondering whether he does like some sort of woodwork or wood turning, or whittling, or from like fallen trees, fallen branches. Because I kind of get the feeling that's what his dad is like. Like maybe his dad was a woodwork teacher, or I don't know. I can't see him working with tools on wood, but I'm seeing him looking for bits of wood, and it's not to do with so that he can light a fire. He's looking for a specific kind of wood. So I don't know if he has a favorite place by a lake. Are there lakes in Colorado? I'll have to have a look. I mean, he might not be from Colorado though. That's the thing. He might only be there for work or school or something. But although I kind of feel like maybe he's not in college anymore. But are you still in college? Because remember I met you just before you were heading off to college. Um, so I don't know if he has like a favourite spot that he goes to that is possibly on a lake, or whether his family has like a holiday home, like a cabin there, or he does. Excuse me, but it's like he's one of these people that returns to the familiar and returns to the calm, because sometimes I think his job gets a little bit too much for him, and so he goes back to Papatūānuku, he goes back to Mother Earth in order to bring him back down and ground him. She clears his head. Mother Nature clears his head. He's not the hunting type. He's because of his mother, he would never dream of hurting or disrespecting nature, even like as a white guy. If assuming he's white. I mean, people look at me and think I'm white because my last name's Callaghan and that, but I was raised as like a indigenous Arab, like a Māori Arab, more than I ever was my Scottish and Irish side. And both my parents were black, so very, well, not very dark skinned, but dark skinned, black hair, dark skin. So, you can't judge a book by its cover. I mean, in the dream, Diego, so maybe he's got some Hispanic in him. Maybe his parents don't look Hispanic, but at the same time, what does that even really mean? He could have a grandparent that was. It's just because of that dream when I was laying out the place cards, I was saying Diego. The brother Diego. So you need to if you're genuine about this, if you really want this, and I know you do, you need to prepare yourself for him, and that's why you've had to go through all of this. This is why you've had to wait so long, because he's not the sort of guy that is going to want to have to deal with a damaged woman, because of the fact that in his job he deals with so many damaged people. And he needs someone who is on his level, someone who isn't going to give him any shit. You're the perfect person for him if you can do this. If you resonate with everything I'm saying, babes, you're the sort of perfect person that would be perfect for him. Sort of perfect person. You're the woman who would be perfect for him. I'm technically still half asleep, because with you being a Scorpio, so ruling intuition and regeneration, rebirth, and all of that, but also because of your background in, your psychology training and all of that, if you do the work on yourself, if you really want this and you take on board everything I'm saying, and from the perspective that I'm saying, when you meet him, you're going to be perfect for him, because without him even having to say a word, you're going to know that the case he's working on, or the job he's just done, or what it is he's just done, is going to require him to go off. So before he says anything, when he gets home from work, you'll have the car packed. You'll let the people who clean the cabin know that you're coming to pick up the key, or not to bother that weekend, or what. Like, you'll have everything ready for him, and then when he gets in and puts down his bag or whatever, you'll be like, right, come on, and you'll put the dogs in the car, and you'll just drive him to the cabin, and he won't even have to say a thing. You'll hand him his coffee, because remember, remember, I keep saying coffee between you two. Maybe he likes we've had conversations before about coffee. So you'll hand him his coffee before he's even gotten out of his work clothes. You'll have food in the car. You'll have clothes packed. You'll have the dogs in the car. You'll get in the car and you'll just drive to his spot. And then you'll have the weekend there, and you won't even, he'll know that he'll talk when he's ready, but you're not going to push him. He'll talk when he's ready. He reminds me of me. That's what I'm like, girl. In my job, with the things that I've had to do, some of the stuff that I have to do, sometimes I just don't want to talk. I have to take it all in. I have to transmute the energy of the shock of everything I've just witnessed or been involved in. When you're around people who are suffering and grief, and it's like a murder, or like anything involved with Epstein, or children and that, like, that's exactly what I'm like. Maybe he's an earth sign. Maybe, God, what if he could be a Taurus, with his twin being Scorpio? He could be your true mirror. Earth dragons and air dragons are perfect for Scorpio dragons. And I know you're only a youngling, but he reminds me so much of me. But you're gonna know what to do. You're not gonna hound him, because you'll be healed. See, an unhealed Scorpio would be in their head thinking, is it me? Have I done something wrong? Why is he not talking? That sort of thing. But a healed Scorpio, when you take in your past experiences, would be like, he's having he's worked on a really hard case. This has really hit him hard. I'm just going to let him, I'm just going to take his favourite food. You'll quietly cook you'll just let him, if his thing is like, just let me cook, because, cooking helps me deal through everything, you'll let him cook. You won't bug him, you won't push him, you won't be paranoid as to why he's gone quiet. You'll intuitively know it's because of something he's dealing with in his job, and that's what I need. I need a man who's the opposite. I need a man who's going to intuitively know if I go quiet, it's because I've had to just deal with something where I need to transmute it and internalize it in order to not let it affect me emotionally or mentally. But I always get you didn't text me in the last 5 seconds, I'm leaving. I'm not going to talk to you for 2 days because you're dealing with some really hard shit that isn't about me. So I'm going to leave because you're making your life not about me, and I need your life to be all about me. That's what I've had to deal with. I don't know if that's what your ex is like, but that's what I have had to deal with in all my relationships. My husband made me choose between him and the military boys that I was helping with PTSD. The same military boys that are now dealing with this shit that Trump's caused. So, and I stupidly chose Martin. And one of the biggest regrets in my life. So, this last relationship was to prepare you for the real one, because the one that you're heading into is a real relationship with a real man who deals with real world issues in his job, and he needs a woman who is equally as grounded as what he is, who won't get in his head and go on at him as to why he's not making everything all about her or them, because he's dealing with some really, I mean, he might have to deal with human trafficking, or, you know, whatever it is that he does. And like I said, I always feel like it's to do with the law or the science side of law, forensics, law enforcement, the military, something like that. Whatever it is that he does, because he has a work van and he has his beloved, his little old one. He's got 2 trucks, 2 vehicles. And whatever it is that he does it's not the sort of job that just anyone can do. And it takes a real strong person to have to do it. Someone with a particular mindset to have to deal with it. Otherwise, any other person, I don't think, would be able to handle it on a psychological level. Which is why, if you take on board everything I'm saying and act exactly how the cards are saying that you should act or are going to act, then you're going to be primed and ready for when you meet him, because you would have gotten rid of all your baggage. He's not somebody who wants to carry somebody else's baggage. He'll carry the baggage if it's baggage he's made with you, but he's not the sort that wants to have to deal with fixing broken women. Because of, like I said, he may have to deal with broken women. You know, the aftermath, like, you know, the murders and all of that, depending on what he does for a job. So he needs a woman who's going to be understanding and patient and not nag him and push at him or try to analyse his every move. He's the sort of guy, if he says I love you, he means it. If he comes home every day, it's because he loves you. He's in it for the long term. He wants someone he can grow old with. He's looking for a relationship just like his parents, you know, together 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. That's what he's looking for. But he keeps finding broken women. He ends up with broken... I heard crazy. I think one of his relationships, his woman might have been a bit crazy. And so he doesn't bother. He just leaves it. He's just left it. It'll happen when it happens. He's not the sort of guy, although I think he might have a lot of women who want to make him theirs. He's not the sort of guy to sleep around, because he's looking for real love. He doesn't want to waste his time on relationships that he knows won't go anywhere. He just seems very grounded and kind of intense and moody. If he was a drink, I'd say he was black coffee. Sort of intense and moody, but like in a hot, sexy way. He brews. He sits and he brews in his stews. When he's out in nature, like he brews and he sits in his stews. Because that's how he transmutes his energy. He takes it all in, and then he kind of brews it and percolates it and turns it into like a broody, kind of dark, quiet, sort of shutting down, externally sort of frequency to turn it into fresh brew. Like something that he can percolate and sit on and transmute. You know, when you look at coffee, you take the beans and then you add the water and you have to grind it up and let it percolate and sit and brew. That's what he's like, his energy. And then comes the smell of the brew, like, aha, now I know what to do. And then the taste, right, okay, I'm good now. I'm ready to go. And then he'll get back up and then he'll put his arms around you. You'll know because he'll come and put his arms around you and he'll be like, thank you. Or he won't, he'll just put his arms around you from behind because you're getting dinner ready or something, and he'll kiss your face, kiss your neck, that sort of thing, and you'll know he's finished brewing. he's up again. And then, you know, like the whole, he'll turn you around and make mad, passionate love to you in the kitchen, like that sort of thing, because it's going to make him love you even more. It's going to make him so turned on, so the way that you know how to handle him is going to be probably his biggest turn on with you. And it's all because of the fact that you will have done the work and you're going to use your Scorpio intuition and your Taurian grounded nature and your training in psychology to know exactly how to deal with him. So you're going to be the perfect woman for him. But you're going to find him when you're not looking. So don't look for him. Kismet. Remember how I always described how you two would meet? It's kismet. It's fate. It's going to happen. It's almost like serendipity. It's like your ships are going to pass. It's kismet. It's a fated event. It's not going to not happen, but just don't go looking for it, because when you go looking for it, you find little bits of him in these other men, and then you waste all this time and drag time down. You slow time down. You literally are slowing time down by wasting energy and time on the wrong men, thinking, is he lumberjack? But when you meet lumberjack, it'll be so funny if his name's Jack. But when you meet him, you're going to know instantly. He's nothing like your type. Nothing like your type. And I'm pretty sure who I end up with is nothing like my type either. I always go for, like, you know, the bad boys, the sensitive artistic type. All the bad boys have all been artistic and, you know, creative and all that, and have skills and crafts and that. But I think I'm going to end up with someone very masculine, very, like, knows what he wants and isn't afraid to get it. Someone who is drawn to my mind. Someone who's drawn to, like, he loves being in my company because we can talk for hours about anything and everything, and I can hold my conversation with him. He's inquisitive. I think I end up with someone who's, like, maybe new to my world, and so my world fascinates him, so he's inquisitive, so he will ask a lot of questions. He wants to know my world. He like can't get enough of wanting to learn about my world. It intrigues him. And so he'll follow me around like a shadow. He'll want to be a part of my world. Whereas you two will exist side by side. I think I end up with a shadow. He wants to work with me. He wants to like be where I am, know what I'm thinking, know my process, like all that sort of thing, because I think he's new to my world. He's gotten a taste of the supernatural, and it's going to fascinate him, and he's going to want more and more and more and more. I can't give you a year. I can give you a season. And it feels like, I always say, autumn. Sort of end of summer. I mean, unless it's right now, because it's like, I've always said, it's like just as the seasons have changed. So it could be going from winter to spring. You're either going to meet him sort of end of winter, beginning of spring, which we're in now, or end of summer, beginning of autumn. But it's going to be when you're not even expecting it, so you need to get it out of your head. What is meant for you doesn't pass you by, but God is not going to let you meet him until you recognize the patterns of what you've been allowing. Admit to look at things from a different perspective, change behaviours and mindsets, that sort of thing. Just, if you have to listen to this reading a few times, especially the beginning before I talk about Lumberjack, do it. I don't know if I'm the king of clubs. Only you're going to be able to answer these questions for me. But when you answer the questions, I'll be able to take it from there once I know what your answers are. Because ordinarily, when I used to do card readings, a person would be sitting right across from me. So I could just ask them the questions and they'd answer in real time. But I know you're going to be fast asleep now, dead to the world. So I'm pretty sure you're 8 hours behind. It might be 9 during daylight savings, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you're 8 hours behind. So you'll get this reading when you wake up. And if you have any questions, you know where I am. But I mean, I have questions for you. So when you answer them, we can take it from there. All right, girl? So, yeah, nobody knows who you are. I haven't given anything away. Even though this is up live, it's just because I'm trying to show people, young people especially, how to maybe open their pineal gland by doing card readings first, using normal playing cards. And I've always used you as a test subject. So, yeah, so if you have any questions, if you have to listen to it a few times, obviously, but you know where I am, just message me and we can take it from there privately and I can answer your questions, all right? So I'll speak to you later. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of a surprise for you. And yeah, I'll wait for you to listen and we'll talk once you wake up. I'll speak to you later. Love you. Bye.